Okay, let's start with the smallest one first and the easiest one. It's a play on child's guitar, maybe even just a toy guitar. It doesn't need a lot done to it, although it does need to be brought down a bit to play for it. It needs cleaned and tidied up, and that needs to be cleaned, but it doesn't actually have any serious damage to it that won't let it be sold. So I think probably a CC could get £10 for that. So that's number one. Going by the smallest guitars first, this is number two, a Bontempi, which is another child's guitar. It says it's classical. Let's have a look at it to see what it needs to be done to it. There's not a lot wrong with it that can't be fixed. And I'll just check the neck. Yeah, the neck. This needs to be glued down, but that's easy to do. So what I'll do is I'll just cut those strings. I'm not going to do it now. I'm just looking at each guitar. This will get, when it's done, probably get 15 quid for it, because it'll be all done up and nice and neat. And I'm just taking the pressure off that because that needs to be glued down, and the saddle needs to be replaced. But that 15 quid for that guitar, made in China. There's another child's guitar, starter guitar. It's called Plum Blossom. Plum Blossom. Plum Blossom does sound like a Chinese name, doesn't it? And again, what's wrong with this? Is there anything wrong with this? Not really. You get 15 quid for that too by the time I finish setting it up. Let me just run one test with it, because that's the most important test. Is the body sunk? No, it's fine, and the neck is straight. So that's okay. That's number three. Plum Blossoms, and it's fine. Number three, got a sticker on it, made in China, and nothing much wrong with it, just needs a good clean up. What is this? Doesn't say the make of it. It has some Doit. Don't want Doit in the house. Let's just get rid of that date. Whenever I was given these guitars, I put a feather duster inside them and sprayed insect killer inside them as well. So let's look at this. It needs a nut, it needs a saddle and bridge, which I have. There's not much damage to it. The neck seems to be okay. There's no truss rod. Made in, looks like China again, as they say. And that will clean up, and I think you might get £25 for that by the time I finished it, because everything looks nice and the tuners look fancy. They look nice and fancy. A bit of rust there, but I can fix all that. Right, okay. Guitar number 5. It says it has a steel reinforced neck, but this has got a little bit of wear and tear to it, this guitar, and I don't know whether it's going to be saved or not. It's either going to get death sentence or saved, and I'm just looking at it now. It's got a truss rod. Has it got a truss rod? No, it just has a steel reinforced neck, so that's not much. And it's got eaten up in here. I don't know why it's been eaten up in there. Hopefully it's not mice. And it's called a Kent Palencia guitar, made in the People's Republic of China. Surprise, surprise. And I got a feeling this one's on the verge of going to the bin. This one may be on the verge of going to the bin, so you tell me what you think. Should it go to the bin? The lacquer's all damaged there. The neck's not bad. There's some white moldy stuff there which I'm just taking off. But this damage here, not sure why. Oh, somebody's cut that out there and cut that out there. They probably put a bridge pickup in there, so yeah, there's not much to rescue on that, is there? There's nothing. It'd probably take too much, and the body split away, so that to me looks like it's going to go to the bin. I might rescue that. Unfortunately, there's nothing much else I can rescue on it, so that one looks like it's on the last. It looks like it's on the last legs. Right, okay, the next one is another classical shape guitar. and it's called a Tatr, Tatr Classical, whatever the hell that is. Right, this is on okay. Yeah, don't see anything major in the way of damage. There's a crack there. Looks like it's been a nailed. A couple of nails. Oh, I see somebody put something inside it and tried to nail it to stop the neck. Right, well that's a guitar that can be done up. There's nothing major done with it. It looks like it's got a crack on the side. I think you probably get the tenor for that. Everything's working, I believe. Yeah, the tuners, everything's working. Right, okay. Right, okay, we'll keep that one. But somebody has tried to stick some nails in there and stop that crack. This one is a, oh gosh, Artansia Valencia, España, an 81R. I can't pronounce what that name is in the inside. Somebody, Joe Maisie May, Joe Maisie May, something like that there. Anyway, now I think this looks like it could be nice when it's done up. Got a little chunk out of there. Pickups look okay. Just needs a nut. Wood looks nice. Looks like it's got nice wood. Neck's in not bad shape. So I think this could be a £35 guitar. Yeah, because it's a nice guitar. I don't think it's great. Nice wood, but nicely finished. And that will clean up well. It's been in the auction, as you can see. So I think that might get 35 for that, depending on the make. The make might bring it up a bit more. So that's okay. That's a good one. That's the first of the better ones. This one here is an interesting one. I just keep rambling on. I've lost count of how many. It has a stripe down there, skunk stripe. The wood feels quality wood. It feels quite old. These tuners look to be fairly high scale tuners for the period it's in. There's a little bit of binding off it. That's nothing. The guitar's had a bit of a life. Binding's missing there, but I actually think it's probably not a bad guitar when it's finished. Let me just check. Right, okay, that's got some damage to it, but that can be fixed up depending on what I find out about this guitar. If I find out anything about this guitar, I think it's 30 quid. I should get 30 quid for that when I've done it up and polished up and cleaned it up. Okay. Now I've lost complete count. So, right, what have we got here? This one doesn't look too bad in first conditions. It's a Jose Ferrer El Primo, and it's got a serial number. It's got a neck that would sink a ship. And I'm not sure if that's too good for it, because you're starting off with a neck and a body that have sunk completely. Can you see the distance of the strings? And they're not tight, but I'll try to tighten up. You see how the distance of the strings? I'm not sure if we can save that one. Well, we'll have a look at it and see why it's like it is. Oh, right, there's the reason why it is. The neck's come away. So can we do anything with that? Yeah, it can be moved about. I think I'm going to have to take the neck off, but that would be pretty quick to do, pretty easy to do, take the neck off. So that can be salvaged, and depending on what that make is, I think you may be 20 quid for that guitar. It's all for a CC. All for a CC. And I'm running out of space here. This one has a bit of problems with it. I don't know what's wrong with it, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. The fret, the neck doesn't fit. Why the neck doesn't fit, I don't know. It doesn't fit on both sides. The neck is about 1/8 of an inch too big on each side, but it looks to be made out of quite cheap materials, so there's nothing there except for that plastic nut. and I'll salvage that, so that looks pretty dubious. Right, okay, now I just need the space. I'm going to pause till I get some space. Right, we're looking at this one next, which is another of these acoustic. It's a Hohner, H-O-H-N-E-R, and it's an MC05. I have done these before. Tuners are in good condition. The neck looks to be in good condition. Let me just put a string on there to have a look down it. Yeah, the neck seems to be in good condition. The bridge is in good condition, nothing happening there. It's been a bit scruffed up and bashed up at the back. It's got a little bit of scuffiness there. I'm going to have to repair that. But I think that could be 25 quid. Little speckles all over the guitar. It looks like it might be a design thing. Speckles. Little dots and speckles all over it. Can you see the dots and speckles? They look like a design feature, which is unusual. So, right, okay, about 25 quid. Just run that neck. Right, that should be okay. Right, okay. 25, maybe 30 quid for that. All for the animals. And another Spanish acoustic. Now this one seems a little bit different. This one seems just a little bit different. It feels heavier. It feels like it's a better quality make. The strings are not doing it any favors. Let me just loosen those strings because they seem to be putting a lot of tension on it. So let me just... The strings are running down the side of it. Something about this guitar I like. No name, needs a nut. Saddle and bridge and saddle are fine, just need some work on them. The neck, it feels like a better wood. It feels like a nicer wood. The neck's nice. Tuners are all... Let's just have a look at the other side. They're just standard tuners, but they're okay. There is some wear and tear there. A little bit of laminate missing from the end. But that feels like a nicer guitar. I must do some more research on it and see if I can find anything in it. But because that's got a narrow shape and an embedded circle, what do you call that thing? I can't remember. I think that could be about a 25 pounder. That's old. I would say that's 70s guitar, but I'm guessing. Pure guess. Right, okay. And the next one's an Elevation guitar. Elevation. No tuners. I've got lots of tuners. No nut. I've got lots of nuts. Elevation W100 NA. Made in China again. Oh, somebody's decided to initial it. Have they gone through to the past the lacquer? I don't think they have. I think that can be polished off because I don't think they've actually gone. Let me just see. No, that's my finger wet, which shows it, and it says they're strong, strong, something like that there. But that could come up nice. I think you might get. Let's just check the neck on it. Yeah. It could be a 35 pound one by the time I finish polishing it up, doing it up, putting a new strap holder on the back there and tidying it up. It'll look pretty good. So what I intend to do is fix up what I can here and then send them to the TC shop to sell. Now this is a Burswood. We all know Burswood, a JC390. Burswoods sound better than they are. The neck's okay on this. It's got some chunkiness there, which can be fixed up. That's okay. The tuner's missing. I just happen to have... Oh, it's gold. And I don't have gold, but those are nice looking little things, but they're not that great quality. So, with everything being equal and no major damage to it, somebody's tried to sand the back. That can be fixed up. I think that's another 35 pound guitar. Nice wood. But I don't really rate Burswood guitars very much. But that's just my prejudice. Right, okay. And we'll keep going. This one here, I think may and may not have a chance. This is a Hondo. Hondo guitars are pretty good make, but it's got a lot of damage there, and also the fretboard's coming away from the neck. The back has been, somebody's tried to sand it in the neck. That's not a great deal of problem. Grover tuners. Grover tuners is always a good sign of a good guitar if they're genuine Grover tuners. And they feel smooth, but the nuts are missing off that, but I have spare ones. So what do I think of this one? Let me check the neck. Maybe I don't know. It's got a truss rod in it. Let me look at it again. Yeah, maybe. Okay, nothing major on it. If I can get it back up and running again, and everything back to the way it should be, depending on that fretboard, I think this could be a £40 guitar if I can get this back again too. I have one of these, so that could be 35 or 40. A Hondo, maybe more for a Hondo. Okay, and we're going to a Westfield now. We've all heard of Westfield. Westfield guitar. It's had a bit of interesting stuff here done with it. It also had semi-acoustic, so I may have a spare one of them, but we'll see. The tuners are all pretty standard cheap tuners that can be polished up and back. I have all these things here that could fix it up, but whether I want to or not is another thing, but it might be a long-term project. Neck's not too bad. Yeah, the neck's alright, pretty good. So it's a Westfield WF800E0. So we'll let you look it up for yourself. Westfield E0. Yeah, if I have all the bits and the frets feel okay and the neck fits, if I have all the bits, maybe 50 quid, 55 quid. Maybe I'm being too generous, maybe I'm being under generous. Okay, now this one's an interesting one, but I don't think it's worth much. It's a Japanese guitar, Karok brand, made in Canton, China. I don't know whether you're interested in looking at this. You can always pause if you are. But it's called, I like the way the Chinese do this, they call it a Martin Coletti. They think of an Italian name, they think of a British name, and they stick it on their guitars. This one has a few little special things about it. The fretboard's nice. This could be nice. I think it might be one that I'll work on, but I'm not going to hold much hope for it. Yeah. That it can be fixed up. I think if it gets fixed up without too much damage, and if I can fix this up again, I think you might get 30 quid for this, 25, 30. But the wood at the top is very nice, so that's, oh, it's coming away a bit, so we'll have to see if there's anything there. Although I have dozens of those, and that one's bent, damaged. Those are bent and damaged. 25 quid, 30 quid, right? Okay. Now another strange thing. I am told that the Chappie, don't know what kind of guitar that is. If anybody can make it out, they're more than welcome to. Let me just see. I don't know what it is. Don't actually care. This used to be an ordinary guitar, but the Chappie cut off the edges and put this on, and turned it into this, whatever this is. And I think just for the fun of it, I'm going to restore it, bring it back to normal. He's actually taken a saw and cut the neck off, made it flat, and it doesn't have a truss rod. Let me look at the neck. No, that kills it. That kills it. That's the neck. That's the neck like that.
Okay, and sent a smiley emoji.
And that's the neck that way, so it's completely bent that way. So no, there's nothing that I can do with this one, and it's not really worth doing anything with. I might make a little video taking it apart, but that's definitely a garbage one, because the neck is just so badly concaved. Right, okay. This one I like. I like this one, believe it or not. Don't know why I like it, but it seems to be quite old. And I think I like the pink tuning pegs, and this needs some work on it. Yeah, it's been lifted a bit, and the back and all that there. But I think if I do this up, let me look at the neck. Yeah, it's acceptable. Somebody stuck a big screw in it, or that's the way it was. But it'd be cleaned up, okay. Oh, the body's coming away. That can be fixed as well. I think if it doesn't take too much work, I think it's maybe a £15 guitar. There's something about it I like. Anyway, that's going over there. And this one is another guitar. It's had some stickers. This is quite a cheap guitar. It's a KC-110. It has the bridge coming off the back. The bridge is lifting. That's not a big job. It can be just stuck down. I'm not going to take it off to stick it down. I'm going to stick it down. And these are all little guitars for learners. The neck's not horrible. It's a little cheapy guitar. Not a lot of problems with it, but also not a lot of value in it. Missing again. Needs cleaned up. The tuners are all okay. Just needs a new set of strings. That maybe needs fixed. So £15 guitar. If I get, what I was saying earlier is I'm just going to give them to the shop and recommend prices for them. Now I like this guitar. It has a story behind it, but I forget what the story is. But that has got a logo on it, SJ, and it may just look like an ordinary pink, but it's a lovely body, and it's a lovely color of pink. It's sort of like a beige pink, but it has a neck issue that needs to be fixed, which can be fixed. But the pink is nice, and all I have to do is fix that neck issue. And I think it should be okay. I think if I get the neck issue fixed well, it should be worth about 35 quid, because that's a lovely body. And so I hope to get that next issue fixed well. There's a truss rod. There's a strange truss rod and a very small one. And I don't think I can check the neck with this, can I? Let me just check the neck. Yeah, the truss rod needs tightened up because of an underbow, but I think it should, because it's got a truss rod, I think it should. It's a very skinny truss rod, but okay, so about 35 quid I should be able to get for that, or I should put that price on it for CC. Right, now I'm going to pause now to bring out the last parts of the video. Hope you haven't got too excited. I haven't saved the best three for the end. These are just 24 guitars in any order they come to me. This, again, a basic cheapy guitar, a tenner's worth of guitar, coming away a bit there at the neck. It needs a bit of work, simple clamp and glue. The needs a bridge, stuff like that there. That's, this thing will even cleaned up will only get about 15 quid. Don't know what's inside it, don't care. No, don't, right. So, and this CB Sky, which is a cheapy guitar again, it's a learner's guitar. It's nice and shiny, and it looks shiny. It's got some scuff marks, but it has some issues. There's something wrong with the fretboard. It feels like it's come away there and there. Is this the one? No, there's another one I have. There's something wrong with the neck as well. Let me get the other. Let me get the other little straight edge. It has a bow in it. No truss rod. It has a convex, concur. Anyway, the It's obviously had buzzing because somebody stuck tissue paper in the... Yeah, that's too high. So maybe I can get it sorted out and get a tenner for it, but I don't think it's worth much more than that. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Get a tenner for it. It looks better than it is. So that's it. And the last guitar that I was given today is this one, and it's not the best. It's just the last guitar that I pulled up, and it has some issues. Now, what issues have I got with it? The fretboard is coming away. It's fretboard smaller than the neck. It's a cheapy one. Cheapy chirp chirp. Part of the ring nut's missing there. And this is coming away, but I think that's more serious than it looks. It's coming away, the whole body's coming away, not just the, that's a nice nut. Yeah, so there's another 15 quid guitar. So if I do them up, which I will do them up, get them all working. Let me look at the nut, neck, should I say neck. Neck's acceptable. That there is, that's real rust and real corrosion on brass. So that needs to be sorted out. So that's it, 24 guitars, and as quickly as possible as I can to let you see what they're like. And you can comment on which ones you think should be scrapped or worked on. I don't know, but that's it. That's probably the quickest I've ever done 24 guitars.